Hello everyone, to all our wonderful subscribers. We say thank you so much for staying with us. And to if you're new here, we are happy to find us. Please don't forget to like our videos, love our videos, and share our videos. And do not forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell for more upcoming videos. And in the comment section, please no derogatory comments, please. Thank you. To see you in our next video. Stay blessed.
Real life issues. I posted a video earlier. I don't know if you've seen it, on a guy who was said to be a doctor. So update on the guy is that he was not a doctor. Number one, he was lying to those women who was said to be a doctor and scammed many ladies, all in the name of come and marry. You can check, I think that's the video before this live stream. So you can check on the page, on the channel, to watch that video. The guy is a Ghanaian guy. He was not a pastor. I mean, he was not a doctor. They said he lied. He's been lying to women that he's a doctor. He is no doctor. Not only that, he was scamming women, all in the name of come and marry. So all in all, and also they said it is not in UK, that it was in Germany. So all in all, he scammed about 11 women of their hard-earned money. The story is there, so you can watch. This is to alert us to be very careful out there in the quest for searching for love as a woman, as a man. Be very careful. Be very, very careful. Now, this story was sent to me this morning, and I went to check about it. And honestly, it's a very sad story of one of us. The man doesn't even look like a Yoruba man anymore. This particular man you are looking on the screen. I'm trying to share to you Facebook and at the same time so that I don't just keep you waiting while I'm doing that. That's why I'm talking. So, Emma Binu. So, sorry. Tobaya, all these things will stop. I was coming to telling them on Facebook that we are on live. Very soon, Mama to stop. In Toba wa mini live ko wa ba mi YouTube umbi. All right, so let me just put the comments, the link. All right. Why the lady still wants to marry doctor? I don't know. I don't know. But the lie he was telling them was that he was a doctor. He wasn't a doctor. The guy was lying. He was lying. He's a big liar. Anyway, he's been arrested. So that is the best thing about it. He's been arrested. Now, I want us to talk on this man, Bolaji Olatunji. He's a Nigerian man. He was a Nigerian man. He's late. This man, you are looking at his picture. He is late. He's a 77 years old man who lives in Philadelphia, who was a resident in Philadelphia. He was 77 years old, and he was working. And during the course of working, he met his end. The story is he's an Uber driver. He was an Uber driver. So around 2 a.m., this is where we have to learn something from. Why a man, a father, a grandfather at 77 even wants to work. You know, sometimes they still want to do something. Why he has to be out there in the dead of the night, 2 a.m., when he should be sleeping at his age. He was out there. I am not blaming him for what happened to him. Don't get me wrong. But just curious, why a 77-year-old man is working, number one, at that age. Then number two, has to be out there at that ungodly hour. Even though we might think America is safe, it's not 100% safe. This we know. So, especially doing that kind of job where every time they canary, the people coming into your car, you don't know them. You don't know the weapon they carry. You don't know where they're coming from. So the job itself is a risky job. But to now find an elderly man doing that kind of a job at that age also calls for curiosity. So while he was trying to pick the passenger, unknown to him, some two guys were inside a SUV waiting for the guy, just a 22-year-old guy, young boy. We know as America the rule, we know the things going on among these people. And he was trying to wait for the guy. He just saw the guy rushed into his car. Immediately the guy rushed into his car. The two guys that were inside the SUV, they started shooting into the car. Unfortunately, some of the gunshots touched Grandpa. Some of the gunshots touched the guy. Grandpa tried to run away, but unfortunately, his car hit something and he couldn't go further. By the time police came, he was pronounced dead on spot. The 22-year-old guy sustained very serious injury and presently is in hospital in a very critical stage. Before we go on, let's quickly listen to the news. Then we will now ask some questions, because this is where we diasporans, we need to really speak to ourselves. And this includes me. I am telling you, this includes my humble self. Hearing this kind of a thing will make us know that anything can happen at any time. And before we blame Daddy, we diasporans, most of us work in dangerous environments. Somebody like me talking, I lost my brother-in-law in this country. The last born of the, no, not the last born of the family. My brother-in-law, we lost him in this country in the course of doing his duty. He was working then in a facility. And one of the people there that they are taking care of, he never knew that the guy had a knife with him. And, you know, the guy was just talking. He never knew the guy was coming behind him. He was just going on his own to go and do his job. And the guy was coming behind him. Before they knew what was happening, the guy started stabbing him. And he was the only one there in that particular space. So the person that was to take over from him came and met him on the floor. They called 911. By the time they got to the hospital, he was gone. This many people have experienced. Many family has experienced it. And this reminds me also of a guy, a Cameroonian guy who works with he was a caregiver. He works in a private, he works private. This one-on-one job was what he does. So one day he was at work. And somebody knocked on the door. Immediately he opened the door. He started firing into the house. The gun got him. And that was the end. The person they came for survived. Just like the case of this daddy. Before we go on to ask, why will a 77-year-old be working at that age? Let us first understand the fact that most of us, in fact, I would say 90% of us in diaspora, diasporans that are relocated, we work in dangerous environments. Some are working with people that are not mentally okay. Some are working with, even if it's private, like the Cameroonian guy, are working with people that already are involved in crazy stuff out there, and their people can come for them. I remember years ago, I used to work with a guy who was paralyzed from head to toe. And in the course of asking him how he became paralyzed, he explained this guy was involved in DRUG. And his colleagues, or whatever you want to call them, came for him one day. And that was how, they used gun to finish him. And he became bed-bound till I'm talking. So let's listen to this guy. Then we want to ask questions. Why a 77-year-old man is still working?
This is one of those incidents that has people very upset and feeling for the victim's family, since so many people use ride shares and speak with their drivers. Philadelphia police have identified that man. They say he is Olatunji Bolaji. He was 77 years old and lived here in Norristown with his family. As you can imagine, his loved ones are dealing with an unimaginable loss. Now, Bolaji was picking up a 22-year-old man outside a hookah lounge on 18th Street near Chestnut in Center City around 2 yesterday morning. Surveillance video shows the man getting into Bolaji's black Chevy Suburban. That's when two men run up 18th Street and start firing at the 22-year-old. Police say he was hit 3 times and Bolaji was shot in the head. He was able to drive a short distance, about halfway down Chestnut Street, before crashing into a light pole. Paramedics pronounced Bolaji dead at the scene. The 22-year-old man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Investigators believe Bolaji was caught in the crossfire. They tell us surveillance video shows an altercation between the other individuals moments before the shots were fired. As for the shooters, police say they took off in a dark-colored Jeep Grand Cherokee, possibly with Massachusetts tags. Police are still looking for them this morning. Meanwhile, we have been speaking with people who are very shaken up over this, including rideshare drivers. A few tell us they limit the hours they spend working in the city for safety reasons.
All right.
I don't do too much in the street in the night because I do more airport. Because in the street you don't know the people have gun.
Now, the homicide unit is investigating. If you have any information on the suspects, you are urged to contact Philadelphia police. As always, a $20,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to an arrest and conviction in this case. Live in Norristown, I'm Brian.
All right, so that's the story. So you get to know that it's an authentic story. Because when I posted it on Facebook, somebody was here asking me, how true is this story you are posting? You people just post rubbish. And I just look at that person. I said, I just told the person, I said, what did you use to type what you type? I guess it's a phone. I said, can you please make use of the phone before you come and start embarrassing yourself publicly? So some of you will see things. Instead of you to go verify, you have the phone there for you to verify, to know what is going on. But instead, you just make a nuisance of yourself by, embarrassing yourself that some of you are not. That's what I want to say. So this guy, as we are talking, this grandpa, as I'm talking, a GoFundMe has been opened for him. Okay? A GoFundMe has been opened for him for his burial. So it's a case of somebody trying to survive. Number one. Yes, I agree he has to survive, as we don't know what went wrong with his life. Maybe life happened to him, for him to still be working. Yeah, that's his picture. That's his picture. Yes. You can Google it. That is his picture. His name is Bolaji Olatunji. So you can Google it. That is his picture. He's not even looking like a Nigerian anymore, right? He's looking more like a black American. We don't know how long he has been in America. I have not been able to get more of the story other than, number one, it seems he's married to a black American from the little information I got. They said he has a graduate child or something. But what could make a 77-year-old man be working and be doing Uber at 77 and still be working at odd hours, ungodly hours? What happened? How did he get there? What could have made him to still be working at that age? Why are they looking for funds to bury him? These are the things we all need to look at. One, somebody of his age is supposed to have insurance, burial insurance, life insurance, all right? I remember a few days ago, or sometimes last week, that we were talking on something similar about life. And I think I said nothing is bad. Once you get to a site, okay, I think when we were discussing the issue of Fumi here and Isaac Namabiri, where Isaac Namabiri was saying it was insurance people that buried the wife. And somebody called in, a social worker called in the show, telling us that the kind of insurance they have, I mean, the kind of burial she had was the insurance that the money is not much. That was why they did the burial that way. Okay? So, what stops every one of us? The big question to us is, what stops us once you are at a certain age? You are working. The risk, you are facing risk every day. You are going out every day to face the world. Coming back is not guaranteed for anyone. Coming back alive. Once you leave your house, even while in your house, anything can happen. That is the number one point here. How prepared are you ready for you to go? Some of us just think abroad is just like Nigeria. We have families who just come together and, you know, they will be the one to plan your burial and all that. Even in Nigeria, we see when people die, how things will messed up, and they will keep them in the mortuary for a very long time because there is no money to bury them. I know some parents back home that have made arrangements and will say, please don't put me in mortuary. There is no need putting in mortuary. Once I go, just let me go and bury me on time. Some people want it here. I remember 10 years ago, a friend of mine was the one that first called me, said, Tony, since you are now in abroad, please go and get a funeral insurance. Initially, I was like, funeral insurance, because I was still very new here then anyway. So like some of us, you are watching me now, and you'll be like, what is this woman saying? But trust me, we all need it. And it's not expensive. Some come as less as $50 per day, per month. Some $80 per month. It all depends on the cover you want. So that is number one. As I'm talking now, they are looking for fund for daddy. How much? $25,000. They say $12,500 is going to be for the burial. $5,000 is going to be for the upkeep of the family for 3 months while they are in the house. They are not for some time, not 3 months. For sometimes for the family, you know, and $3,000 is going to be for something I can't remember. Now the question is it that it is this man that is still paying his house rent, which is a possibility in America? You know, in America, all these children have their own liability too. They have their own problem to see to. Some of us are still very young. What are you thinking about? How prepared are you preparing for your tomorrow? How prepared are you prepared for your tomorrow? Someone called me sometimes ago. Sorry, I'll keep saying because I talk with people. And when people are talking, like I always say, when we come together like this, I'm going to leave a line open for us to call in. When we come together like this to talk, I learn a lot too. It was in the course of my talking on social media that someone called me and we started discussing. And that person unknowingly did not know that I left an everlasting mark, positive mark in my mind. We are talking on mortgage, and that person said majority of Nigeria just buy property. And that is why they lose their homes once there is little problem. He said most Nigerians does not know that once you get a property, a mortgage, you should have nothing less than 6 months mortgage kept aside. I now said why. He said anything can happen. And you may not be able to continue to pay the mortgage for 1 or 2, 3 months. And mortgage people, they don't care. Once you can't pay for certain time, they come and they collect the house. They don't care whether you are sick, or something happened. Their own is that you can't pay, leave the house. Okay? Leave the house. So, people, that's another point. And I was like, Otomani. He said, it doesn't matter if your children are doing well. It doesn't matter if your children are giving you money. It doesn't matter if your children are going to be there. Just put it aside. Honestly, I held that something by the left of my hand. This incident of this man happened just 3 days ago. And already the family have put a GoFundMe outside. Why is it that mostly in our community, mostly if you go to GoFundMe, you will see many Nigerians, Africans, once anything happens to them, people are looking for GoFundMe to bury them. Why? Because we have this mentality where they have put in our head from religion, I will not die. I will live to declare the glory of God in the land of the living. I will not die. It is not yet my time. I will live to full old age. The numbers of my days shall be numbered. I can't forget those quotes because I used to quote it too in those days. That is not facing reality. That this life, everyone has a time they will go, expiration date. How you will go is what you don't know. When you will go is what you don't know. But how prepared are you? How prepared? Between yesterday to today, we have had cases of high-profile people that went. That is the one that came to social media. We are not even talking of how many. Okay, somebody saw it. Here is another. Don't live in your first mortgage or rent part out. Another, buy a mortgage you can pay more than the monthly payment and pay it off ahead of time to save interest rates. Okay, let me pin this comment. All right. So I'm still going to give us time to call in. Okay. I'm still going to give us time to call in. All right. So, how prepared are we? Then how come at 77? This is what most of us don't know. You see, people who have this country, people will come to meet in this country. They know how they plan themselves. That some of them, before they even reach age 60, they're already retired. They call it part-time retirement. You know, most of us came when we are not young. But it doesn't mean we cannot plan. It doesn't mean we cannot look at ways to make extra income. It doesn't mean we cannot look for things to do aside our 9 to 5 or our double schedule. Aside our 12 hours, some do 16 hours. I find it very funny when I hear people in their 60, in their late 50, doing double schedule at that age. The question I always ask, where are you taking the money to? Who are you working for? Because at that age, you are not supposed to work for anybody anymore other than yourself. Yes. If you are 55 upwards, your work should be for yourself. So you don't work too hard at that age anymore. If you are still working to take care of children, something went wrong somewhere. Probably you started late. Okay? That is understandable. But when you look at many of the people that are working those double schedule at late age, I call it late age because once you are 50, you are already in your mid-age. They call it mid-age for a reason. Where you are supposed to be slowing down. I once came across a motivational speech on social media that said, by age 21 to 20 is your year where you are being fed. By 20 to 40 is the year where you should work. And by the time you are getting to 40 upwards, that is 50 upwards, is the time you should start living for yourself. When you are now at 50 years of age, you are still working for people. It doesn't matter if they are your children. What went wrong? How did you get to that stage? And that is why I look at some men. I just laugh. When I see men that said they want to marry and they are looking for women that will start having children again at a certain age, I always look at them like they're not normal. I'm sorry, that is me. If you are normal, like for example, I saw a guy some times ago, he was 55, he should be 56 this year. Yeah, he will be 56 in very few months' time. He said he wanted to marry a 38-year-old lady. The lady has 2 kids from previous marriage. The first child is 5 years old. The second child of that lady is 2 years old. And he still wants that lady to have a child for him. And he himself has 7 children already. I'm like, you are not okay. I now ask him. He said, okay, he now had issues with the lady. He was now feeling bitter and offended that the lady left him. I now said, oh, wait, oh. He was now complaining about how he used to help the lady to take care of those children. I said, in this America? He said, yes. And said, your father is somewhere, resting. So you are the one helping to take those babies to daycare, to still go and pack them in daycare. I said, do you love yourself? He said, it's because he loved the lady. I said, you are not normal. I just said that one in my mind, though. So the lady, her husband is there as the father of those children. They are supposed to be doing co-parenting together. That should be helping in the morning to take those children, even if they are not married again. You are now the one helping her to carry children to daycare. You will rush from your work in the evening to go and carry them until she closes from work. On the long run, when I was now chatting with him, I now found out what he was trying to do was to have a woman that will be working for him when he grows old, because he has already messed up his life. I later got to know about him. I went deeper to find out about him. He has messed up his life. His finances are messed up totally. So he's looking for a young lady that will continue to, that can work. Sure, you understand? So he was now pushing that lady. That was when they now had problem. He was now pushing that lady to go and learn, to go back to school and do nursing. So that when that lady goes to do nursing, they will be earning very well. The lady will be earning very well. And you know, somehow, he will be collecting money from her. So that was his plan. Unfortunately, maybe the lady now got to know. The lady now left him. He was now bitter about him taking care of those children. And I was like, in my mind though, because Tori e buru.